What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining me for yet another Taco Tuesday. So I did just get back from a vacation with my family and my uncle's family. We did go across the United States to California. So the part of California that we went to was Southern California, and if any of you know that area, it's very well known for all the, I guess, off-roading kind of towards Baja, that part of Mexico. We were in the San Diego area as well as the Los Angeles area, kind of seeing all the nice sights and things to do and see around that area. We have been to California before, but never this part, and I had a great time. It was really fun, and I saw lots of cool Toyota things that I want to share with you. So if you did see the picture that we posted on Instagram, and if you haven't already, please go there and like the pictures. I did put up several pictures that I had seen. There was 2 lifeguard Toyota vehicles for the city of San Diego, and there was a Tacoma and a Tundra that was wrapped really cool. Had, you know, it was in the red paint job, obviously being a lifeguard vehicle, but it also had all these Toyota emblems all over it, as well as some cool other decals on it. It was really cool to see that the city of San Diego using those for lifeguard vehicles, and as well as first responder type vehicles. In addition to that, there was something else really cool that I saw near our hotel that we stayed in San Diego. There was a big kind of like the sea, the port, I guess you would call it, right by the ocean. And in this lot, there were hundreds of third-generation Tacomas, brand new 2017s, to be from what I believe to be the factory in Baja, which, if you know anything about the area of San Diego, is very close to the southern border of California, and just over that border is Tijuana, Mexico, which is very close to Baja, where Toyota does have that plant dedicated to the manufacturing of the Tacomas. And I thought that was very cool. I couldn't get the best shot of it, but if you zoom in on the picture a little bit, you can kind of see the different colors and stuff. But I can promise you that they were tacos, and it was very cool to see hundreds of tacos. And you know, if you could go in there and just kind of pick and choose which one you want, I guarantee every one of you viewers out there could have gone in there and picked out exactly your configuration. Except if you have a TRD Pro. I did not see any TRD Pro Tacomas in there. I'm not sure if they are manufactured solely in our Texas plant in San Antonio, but it was just a very cool thing to see. Lastly, just one thing that I did experience there in California, we were given a rental vehicle for the week. Since we obviously didn't bring our own vehicles, we did fly in. Our rental vehicle was a 2016 Sequoia. Now, we did not pick that out. That was actually just given to us by the rental company. And interestingly enough, this vehicle, when they had said that, well, this is what we were getting, and we were like, oh, that's cool, you know, we haven't actually ever driven a Sequoia, you know, it would be kind of interesting to see how that does for the week that we had it. It took us a little bit to get it from the rental company because it was really dirty, apparently, inside and outside. It sounds like this thing was taken through Baja or something like that, but it was really beaten up. For being a 2016 model, I kind of looked at the sticker within the driver's side door jamb, and interestingly enough, it was built the month before this truck was built, and this particular Sequoia, being a rental vehicle, was pretty high mileage. It was like 37,000 miles that they put on in just over a year, assuming that this rental vehicle was brand new when the rental company had first acquired it. But I made out pretty well with that over the week. It was a fun vehicle to drive. I have driven Toyota SUVs in the past, and if you know anything about the Sequoia is based off of the Tundra, interior and exterior styling and everything like that. I believe the frame might even be a little similar, with some differences, because the Sequoia does have independent rear suspension, not a solid axle there in the rear for the Sequoia. But it rode pretty well. It was very Tundra-like. I have driven Tundras before, and that Sequoia does need a refresh here soon. I know 2018 is when they're bringing the TRD Sport, Sequoia, and Tundra, and they're getting little changes on the outside and inside, but nothing major. That interior is very old school, second generation Tundra, but overall, The trip that I made to California with my family was very fun, very much needed, but I did see a lot of cool things there, and I hope you all enjoyed the pictures that I shared on Instagram. And now I'm on to some news for this week. So there is a good bit, so just bear with me. I'm going to try and condense it as much as I can. For Mercedes news, there is the Mercedes X-Class truck, which is coming to market, but unfortunately we will not be seeing it here in the U.S., or at least for the time being. In 2018, it will be available in Germany and other parts of Europe, and then in 2019, you're going to see it in Brazil and Argentina and maybe a few other places, you know, as a few years go on. It's similar to the Nissan Navara in shape and size, so if you can kind of picture what that looks like in other markets, that is kind of what this truck is going to look like. It will be, of course, 4MATIC, which is Mercedes all-wheel drive that they offer in their other vehicles. I do not know if this will be a selectable type of four-wheel drive. I just know that with Mercedes, for the most part, it is not selectable. You may be able to select other modes or locking differentials, kind of like in a G-Class. But there is also a manual transmission option, which I think is very cool. It's very necessary, I would say, and especially behind what they are offering as an engine option in these vehicles. So you can have a 4-cylinder gas motor, but then in addition to that, there will be 4- and 6-cylinder diesel variants, which are topping with 400 plus pound-feet of torque, which is a lot of power coming out of a truck. And of course, with diesel, that's what you do expect, but with a manual transmission behind that, that's excuse me, that is going to be quite an interesting combination there for that Mercedes X-Class. I'll be very excited to see how that does in other countries, and maybe just one day we'll see a Mercedes truck over here, kind of an even more step up in luxury than what we see in some of these other mid-sized trucks. For the last thing with some Mercedes news, there have now been 300,000 Mercedes-Benz G-Class vehicles that have been produced now. And for those of you that don't know, that is Mercedes' big boxy SUV that does have 3 lockable differentials. You can lock the center, the front, and the back all at the same time for some ultimate off-road crawling, which is a very, very cool thing. They are very expensive though. I've only seen so many of them out on the road, and some people, if you have enough money to buy them, they get them and they trick them out a lot. It's a very cool offering from Mercedes. It's a very off-road worthy SUV, but unfortunately I do not have the type of paycheck to get that, and you know, I don't think I'd even have a need for it. So moving on to some Ford information. Ford is still working on their Bronco. It's too close to the Wrangler at this time as far as the design goes, but we know that they're not going to look exactly like it. I'm sure it'll still throw back to the heritage of the previous Bronco 2 and early Bronco models, with maybe some round headlights from the earlier ones. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But I guess we'll see once it comes to market. We're not exactly sure what the engine options are going to be. I can guarantee you that Ford will stick an EcoBoost in there, and possibly that 3-liter Power Stroke diesel that they are going to be putting in the F-150s here soon. Along with all of that, the Ford Bronco does have a removable top. That we are pretty sure of so far. It will have a removable top, and I believe the earlier Broncos may have had some sort of removable top or back, I guess, bed top option that you could remove to kind of make it look more like a truck. Moving on to some Ram information, there were some 2019 Ram 1500 spy shots out there. It is more sporty. It does have some pretty aggressive styling, it seems. It's hard to tell with some of the cladding that they have on it to kind of protect it from everybody knowing exactly what it is. It does have LED lights, we do know that much, and there will be no Ram box, unfortunately. There is, however, a 4-door and a 6-foot steel bed that you will be getting in place of that. As far as Jeep news goes for this week, Jeep is worth more than all the other FCA products out there. You know, more than Fiat, Chrysler, Dodge, all of those brands that are kind of under the Fiat umbrella. Jeep, at least in the United States, is worth half of all of FCA's sales, so that definitely takes up a whole lot more of the market, because you know, you can look just about anywhere. Even out my window right now, I see 2 Jeep Wranglers parked in a parking lot across from me right now, And just about anywhere else you go, you're going to see a Jeep product of some sort. Jeep has just done really well, especially in the past decade or so. They've just offered really attractive options at a pretty attractive price, and people will just buy them because they know Wrangler is just such an iconic brand out there. Wranglers are quite an iconic vehicle under the Jeep brand. They're seeing a sales low kind of in these other brands that they have out there, but maybe it's just because it's an end of product cycle for a lot of these vehicles. We are getting the redesigned Wrangler here, the JL, and something that we're kind of wondering is, are we going to be getting a diesel option in that? We believe that there have been spy shots out there of diesel Wranglers, but that nothing has been confirmed. It's all kind of speculation based on the emissions equipment that we can kind of see under the vehicle and the tailpipe and all that sort of thing, having like a diffuser of some sort in the back. But maybe in 2019 we'll see one. We're not exactly sure if it'll come to market right when the Wrangler comes out, but of course this is all just stuff that we're speculating and stuff that we'll end up seeing here in the future. So let me know what you think in the comments below. That's about all the news I have for this week. So thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.